extending my deepest appreciation to all of you because your work is immense. It is often looked at like it's thankless, but it is absolutely the foundational of the country's future. So I know that you carry a lot of weight, and not just for the academic targets, but also for the well-being of the thousands of the young citizens or the young Kenyans that are entrusted to your care. Many of you are seeing me as a principal secretary, and indeed I am one. But before I assumed this office and other previous offices, I walked in your shoes. I stood before a chalkboard trying to convince drowsy young boys that the earth is round and not flat. It is tilted at an angle and it was in movement all the time, rotation and revolution. I don't know why my lessons used to be put in the afternoon. Maybe I can ask my boss, my former boss, that is Mr. Kuria, who used to be my principal at Kirogaya Boys High School. Maybe it was a form of GBV. On a light note. So I marked thousands of papers, exam papers. I mediated disputes over lost pens, over lost textbooks, etc. So when I study here, I'm not studying here as a distant policy maker, but as an educator. So I understand the terrain that you have to navigate daily. However, my presence here is not about grades. It is not about university placements. It's not about budget shortfalls. But I'm here because there is an urgent threat that overshadows all those academic achievements. A threat that is stealing the future of our girls, our daughters, and eroding the fabric of our society. So I'm here to talk about the safety of our children, but I'm not going to refer to the issues of fire, etc., because I know that has been dealt with exhaustively. I am here to talk about gender-based violence. And in this fight against gender-based violence, I want to say that you are our first line of defense because the crisis is right at our doorstep. Now, let me share some stark numbers that keep me awake at night. In the year 2024, Kenya recorded close to 160 femicide cases. While in the year 2025, we had close to 200 cases of femicide. As we start now, we have close to 100. That is from the beginning of this year, 2026, we have close to 100 cases of femicide. Now, I am talking about our daughters, I'm talking about our sisters, I'm talking about our nieces, I'm talking about our mothers. And men, you are responsible for the 85 cases of these deaths. Now, young women between 18 years to 35 account for nearly 2/3 of these victims. And that is the very age bracket of your students as they transition from universities to college, or maybe to universities to colleges, some to employment. So we are talking about young adulthood, transitioning to young adulthood. Please, these are not just statistics. Each number is a life cut short. It is a dream extinguished. The data shows that 72% of the cases happened where women should have felt the safest, and that is at home, killed either by intimate partners or by family members. And nationally, according to KDHS, 43% of women and girls aged between 15 to 49 years of age have experienced gender-based violence, while 13% have experienced sexual violence. So this is a crisis and we cannot look away. So what brings me here today in this very special gathering is because you principals occupy a unique and very powerful position. You start at the gateway between childhood and adulthood. Now, I know you're dealing with a lot of drama with these teenagers, almost looking like soap opera, from secret crushes to petty jealousies, and sometimes to full-blown romantic wars. But here is the truth. This drama is the exact window where we can catch GBV early. The same way we teach our students to solve a quadratic equation, you must also teach them to recognize the equation of the predator, right from special favors plus secrecy plus excessive flattery. All this results into manipulation. And this is a slow but calculated process of grooming. Let's teach our girls that their bodies are theirs, they are their own. Let's tell them that consent is not a gray area. What about our boys? What do we tell them? We must tell them that true strength is not domination. It is not in the fist. It is in the protection and respect for our girls. Now, let me be honest. What is the use of having an A in mathematics when a girl cannot say a firm no to an adult who crosses the line? Our job as teachers, I'm still a teacher because once a teacher, always one. So our job is to produce not just educated citizens, but we need citizens that are safe and that are empowered. But schools cannot do this in vacuum, which is why I want us to talk about the platforms that you have as principals. You normally hold parent-teachers meetings, the school barazas, prize giving days. I do remember the conversations that you used to have then were like your child is talkative but bright. I just wish he could stop being too talkative. Maybe we need to improve the grade. Maybe you have a school balance, etc. But I want us to add a new non-negotiable agenda, and that is preventing gender-based violence. Use these forums to speak directly to the parents. Tell them to look for the warning signs. If a girl was very bubbly and suddenly this girl withdraws, or maybe a child who doesn't want to go home, or maybe a girl who comes home, or a child who comes home with some unexplained gifts coming from a good Samaritan, or a certain change in the use of the phone, some secrecy, etc., that is a red flag. Let's equip them with the knowledge and let's ask them the right questions. That is the message I want you to give to the parents. Let me be honest, some parents are actually perpetrators. never forget this. I was dealing with a case that happened in Kericho where a father had impregnated his 3 daughters and was already defiling his 7-year-old daughter. These things are happening. I was dealing with another case in Makueni. Those people from Makueni might have heard about it, where a father was defiling his 7 children, boys and girls, all parts, everywhere. Now, these things happen. The available data indicates that intimate partners and family members account for these GBV cases. Now, let me tell you something that you need to tell the parents, that when you invite your male relatives, your cousins, your uncles, your brothers, your friends, without a second thought about who has unsupervised or unchecked access to your child, clearly you are handing over the key to the lion's den, and of course hoping for the best. We must tell parents, family, and lovingly that their home is their first line of defense. We must vet who enters that door, of course without being rude, because that is what is being responsible. Creating a safe home is not optional. It is our primary duty as parents. This message must go to the parents. I know when you discussed issues to do with the fires that we had and the indiscipline in our schools, you must have touched on the parenting or the kind of parenting that we have currently. And you must have told yourselves that parenting is not about providing food, providing shelter, providing fees. It goes beyond that. We must ensure that we have very let me call it a very positive communication in our homes. If a girl grows seeing the father hitting the mother or disrespecting the mother, that child will grow when she is withdrawn or he is withdrawn. If a girl grows seeing a father respecting the mother, that child is unlikely to entertain any form of disrespect. If a child grows, a boy for that matter, grows seeing the father using the fist as a form of communication with the mother, again, that child is likely to become violent. So we need to talk to our parents because they actually copy what we do as opposed, okay, much of what we do and not what we say. So what am I asking you? Please, principals, I'm asking you to train your PTA chairs. When you have meetings in your schools, please bring in some counselors. You can have child officers to come and speak to your parents during the prize giving days, etc. Teach them because they need to learn. Now, let me address the elephant in the room. This is an uncomfortable matter, and those who wear our uniform might sometimes betray the trust that we bestow on them. We have also seen in the recent past very disturbing reports about teachers preying on our students, exploiting them. Let me make this clear as I can be. There is no excuse for this, and there is no gray area. This is a fundamental betrayal of the trust that the parents and the society place in you, which is guaranteed under Article 53 of our Constitution and also the Sexual Offences Act. Teachers are meant to be protectors. They cannot be predators. And you principals are the gatekeepers. You have the power to vet, to screen, and to monitor and act decisively. I know sometimes the temptation of not trying to expose your institution, you want to sort out issues internally, but when you do this, you are losing a child. This is a tragedy. So, and clearly that is not leadership. You become a complicit. So let's speak out, let's protect our children. Let me say that His Excellency the President, realizing that the cases of gender-based violence and femicide had escalated, he appointed or he established a technical working group to look at the issues of gender-based violence, including femicide, and we are in the process of developing a comprehensive national strategy. But clearly, the government alone cannot solve this crisis. It requires whole of society approach, and it starts with you. I'm completing this. I'm just about to add. So what I'm urging you to do, one, I had hoped it was going to be projected. One is to integrate gender-based violence prevention, into your curriculum and school culture, not as one of assembly, but as ongoing education. Let's talk about it from time to time until it sinks into our children's heads and our parents. The more you practice to sing a certain song, the more it sings. Number two, let us use every PTA forum to educate our parents on positive parenting and the warning signs that I've talked about, and of course, the dangers of embracing unscreened relatives into our homes. Number three, let us strengthen confidential, child-friendly reporting mechanisms so that students can speak without fear of judgment or reprisal. Four, please vet, and I repeat, vet and monitor every adult on your compound. Let's be vigilant. Watch for the signs of grooming and exploitation, because that is where our girls get exploited, get defiled, get raped, etc. Finally, please speak out. Break the silence, because the silence is the one that allows our predators to operate. If you see something, please make sure that you say something. Let me leave you with this. I have stood where you are studying. I have felt the pressure of exam targets. You want to excel, you want to perform the best. And there is a lot of pride in having a class that is graduating. But frankly speaking, the true measure of success is not the number of students that are going to join the university, but it is the number of students who are healthy, whole, self-aware, and knowing their worth. Every girl who leaves your school without the knowledge to recognize abuse, without the confidence to speak out, or without the self-worth to demand respect, this is a girl that we have failed. Please, let's not fail our girls. To the perpetrators now, your days are numbered. Sooner than later, you'll face the full force of the law. And to you, the protectors, the principals, the teachers, the counselors, the parents who do the hard work of raising accountable children, I say a big thank you. And I say, please do more. You are doing well, but there is always some room for improvement. Please do more. be the sanctuary that these children badly need. Let us build a Kenya where our children can learn 3 Ls. That is, they can learn, they can laugh, and they can lead without fear. May God bless you, may God bless our children, and may God bless Kenya.
Thank you so much for the presentation. I call upon Jacqueline Kusunza, the chair, Kitui County, to come and award the presenter. Meanwhile, Professor Ongondo, Dr. Joan Ngunzi, kindly come forward also for your awards. Professor, come forward. Dr. Joan Ngunzi, come forward for the for your awards. Thank you. And we clap for them as they receive the awards. Clap for them once more. It's now my pleasant duty to welcome the National Chair, KESSHA, Mr. Willy Mwangi Kuria, to carry on with the remaining session and ultimately lead the closing ceremony. Mr. Kuria, welcome.
Thank you very much, MC. Our Cabinet Secretary for Education, Honorable Julius Bigos Ogamba, our Principal Secretary, State Department of Education and Learning, Mr. John Likakine Oltua, the Principal Secretary, State Department for Gender and Affirmative Action, Madam Anne Wangombe, the Chairman of the Teachers Service Commission, Dr. Jamrik Muturi, the Member of Parliament for Kibla, who is also in the Parliamentary Committee on Education, Honorable Olelo, all the presenters who have been here today, and the county officials, the national officials, all the delegates, distinguished guests. We are indeed very happy that you have been here and you have been able to present this morning. We really wanted to appreciate. We are really pressed a bit of time because we can see this being the last day that maybe you want to go. But then I'm happy that you're able to give our time to our chief guest to be able to close the conference for us, who is also our minister. So it means we shall take very little time. And today I want to do it a bit differently because I don't want to start here alone. I want to start with the National Governing Council here as I make my presentation so that we finish together. So you can be coming here, the National Governing Council. As you come, I want to continue. First, as I said, is to thank the Minister, the Cabinet Secretary for Education, because of finding this time to be here. During this week, we have had a lot of consultations, we have had a lot of engagements on matters education. And we discussed so many things because from Friday when we had the exhibitors, then on Tuesday the PS education was here and the directors. Then we had the opening ceremony on Wednesday and the head of public service was in charge. On Thursday we had the Teacher Service Commission, the CEO and the directors. And today we have you. So, sir, during this time, there are some things that stood out. The ones that we discussed so many things, but there are those that stood out. And I just want to make a very brief highlight of those things that really stood out in this conference during our presentation as they affect schools. And among them is the school uniform policy, where we say that there is need to make the uniform fairly reasonable and affordable for the learners. And this was in agreement. And we found that the current uniform in most schools cost about 9 to 10,000. If anything is above that, it is because of the bedding, that is the blankets, the bed sheets, the mattress, the PE uniform, and all that. We are very fearful that if there is a change of uniform to be a standardized one for the entire country, it is going to cause a lot of maybe indiscipline in our schools because we may not be able to know who are our students. We may find students going in other schools and masquerading as if they are the genuine students of that school. So we say that maybe we need some engagement on the way forward, but we are in agreement that the uniform need to be affordable. The other issue that stood out is the issue of school unrest, which we have really witnessed over this term. And we have seen the increase in terms of magnitude and the frequency of the students involved in unrest. This time around, we said we have seen schools that have been very stable, schools that have not been known to be engaged in unrest. They were this time around there. And we say that this was a bit threatening, it was a bit worrying. And therefore, we say that this threat requires urgent investigation and intervention to address its root causes. All the same, we say that we cannot get tired of guidance and the counseling, and therefore, all the stakeholders needed to engage to know what is ailing our children. The other issue we saw that stood out is the issue of school fees. This has been a major issue all the time. In fact, since you joined us, the minister, we have always talked about this one. At this time round, we went further than complaining. We actually set out, we actually went out to find out how much a student spends in a school in a day. And finally, we came to the conclusion because when it comes to eating, it requires about 240, that is the borders. And then the other 40 heads would take the rest, and then it would be about 483. It all amounted to 110,000 per year for boarding students and 29,000 for day scholars. But this for boarding, it is without, this fees is without the issue of infrastructure development. And on the side of the borders, it is without lunch. So we say that we are going to hand you over the document so that you'll be able to see all the calculations and you go through it for further consultation. We have also given the same document even to the parliament. There was a member of parliament here. We have given it to the head of public service. We have given it to the Teacher Service Commission, the CEO. And today we have your copy, and that one of the chairman of the Teacher Service Commission. The other issue that also came out was the issue of the junior secondary schools. And we found out that since the implementation of JSS, some of the secondary schools are closing, others are without kids. They are not learners. They cannot sustain themselves. You see, it is about 1 million children who are removed from the secondary to the primary schools through this. And therefore, you find that most of the facilities in high school are not being utilized. And so we have the feeling that maybe some of these day schools can be allowed to admit the JSS. But we also found that it was necessary whether the JSS can be a standalone unit that can be either in the primary, in secondary, or as an independent unit. We say this is an issue that needs to be investigated and discussed. Otherwise, a good number of secondary schools have no runners. In my school, I have received teachers from secondary schools in Murang'a County that have closed after the JSS, and they are no students. The other issue we also that stood out is the issue of Kenya National Examination Council. And as teachers, from the way we have been interacting with the Kenya National Examination Council, we are thinking they have no money. We are thinking they are bankrupt because since we did the KCSC, we marked, we supervised, and everything else. Now we are about to start the other one next term. There has been no pay. This is an issue that is fairly sensitive in schools. In schools, this is a major issue. Hardly a day can pass before the NEC is discussed in our staff rooms. And because maybe it is not the problem of NEC, it is the problem maybe of funding. We have suggested now for the 10th time, is it possible for NEC to get its funds directly from the consolidated fund, so that they can be able to pay, to employ professionals, and to be able to check against examination cheating. Without the funds, they will not be able to do this job. So, Wasili, we are requesting for the future of for the future of NEC and the future of exam in this country, we would wish that the NEC becomes an autonomous body legally, so that they can be able to get funding direct from the government, so that these teachers, all of us, can be able to get their pay, and so that NEC can also be able to do its functions very well. Finally, is the issue of the implementation of the grade 10. Of course, we have received the students grade 10 in high school. Some schools have very many. Others have very few. The reason is, the issue is the economies of scale. The many students you have, the more capitation you will have. So, if I have to survive, I have to take as many as they come. After all, there is one empty class, which is supposed to be Form 2. So most of us are admitted Form 1 and Form 2 together in this JSS, so that to bridge the gap that is created because we have no money. Once we did that, there are some schools that then suffered because they could not get students. That is one challenge that we have in the grade 10 admission. You know, the students are few, but we continue to pay the same salaries. We continue to pay the same bills. So that is why we are admitting many. So that is one challenge in grade 10 admission. Some schools have more, others do not have. And maybe that's why I'm saying we can revisit the issue of JSS. When some of us we are in high school had 6 classes, and primary school had 7 classes. Now, all the classes in secondary have all been taken to the primary, leaving 3. Those are the challenges we are having. And those facilities still remain. I know that Professor KACD has been here. I can see him there, and he's doing some good work as far as the textbooks are concerned, but still the textbooks are not adequate. I'm told that we ourselves have to blame for sometimes that we are not giving enough data in the right time, and I also admit that. But honestly, there are some schools have got a shortage of grade 8, grade 10 textbooks. We have, but they are not enough. So something needs to be done so that these textbooks are available in schools. We are now in the second term. We are the second part of the second term, and the most schools do not have these adequate textbooks. The other problem on grade 10 is the shortage of specialized teachers. These subjects that came, they are not teachers. We are requesting the teachers who are there to whether they can teach this subject. You are in the faces, can you teach electricity? Since my friend Madame was a teacher of geography, maybe if she was there, I would request her to teach fisheries and the marine. If it was those times, that's how principals are surviving. You just negotiate with the teachers in the staff room, and sometimes they may accept, sometimes they may not. Sometimes we are trying to get teachers who are not actually registered by the Teacher Service Commission. I hope the chairman is not listening to that one. But we are being forced sometimes to look for teachers from the other TVETs to come and help us in this area. Maybe something can be done. Otherwise, because of time, I want to add there, because I have the document which you will carry home. Today I told you, Minister, I'm going to be very brief. But it is important that I just take 3 minutes and read what I had prepared for you. As we gather here today to bring curtains down on the 49th KESHA KCB annual conference, I'm filled with the immense gratitude and the pride over the last 5 days, from 22nd to 26th June, we have engaged in meaningful discussion and shared experiences, exchanged innovative ideas, and reflected on the future of education in our country under the theme, Strong Schools and Collaborative Leadership for Promoting Competency-Based Education. On behalf of the Kenya Secondary School Health Association, I extend our sincere appreciation to all those who have contributed to the tremendous success of this conference. First and foremost, we convey our deepest gratitude to the Chief of Staff and Head of Public Service, Mr. Felix Koskei, for graciously officiating the opening ceremony and for delivering an inspiring message that set the tone for our deliberations. His insights on leadership, service delivery, and national development challenged us to embrace our role as transformative leaders in the education sector. I also wish to express a profound appreciation to the Ministry of Education under the able leadership of the Cabinet Secretary, Honorable Julius Bigos Ogamba. Your unwavering support, commitment to education reforms, and the continuous engagement with the school heads have greatly enriched our discussions and reaffirmed the Ministry's partnership with KESHA on advancing quality education. To the Teachers Service Commission, we sincerely thank the Chairman and the Chief Executive Officer. Your participation and insightful engagement, your contributions on teacher management, professionalism, and educational quality have been invaluable to school principals gathered here. Our gratitude equally goes to the Principal Secretary, State Department for Basic Education, Dr. John Olotua, for his invaluable insights and the considered perspective throughout the conference. Your pragmatic approach and dedication to addressing issues affecting schools continue to strengthen the bond between policy and practice. We are equally honored by the presence of the Principal Secretary, State Department for Gender and Affirmative Action, Madam Anwa Ngombe. We appreciate your contribution and your commitment to promoting inclusion, equity, and opportunity for all learners within our education system. I wish to acknowledge and thank all our keynote speakers, facilitators, panelists, resource persons who dedicated their time and expertise to guide our discussions over the various days of this conference. Your presentations challenged us to think differently, opened new vistas, and provided practical solutions to the challenges facing education today. Special appreciation goes to our sponsors and partners whose support made this conference possible. We particularly thank KCB, our long-standing partner and principal sponsor, for your unwavering commitment to the education sector and to KESHA. We also extend our gratitude to all other sponsors, exhibitors, and stakeholders who partnered with us in diverse ways to ensure the success of this event. To all principals across the country, thank you for your active participation, discipline, engagement, and commitment throughout the conference. Your presence and contribution demonstrates your dedication to continuous learning and your determination to provide quality leadership in our schools. As we conclude this conference, we do so with the renewed hope and confidence. The knowledge shared, networks established, and experiences exchanged during these 5 days will undoubtedly strengthen our capacity as school leaders. We leave here better equipped to implement the competency-based education framework, foster collaborative leadership, and build stronger institutions that nurture the talents and aspirations of every learner. The value of this conference extends beyond individual principles. The ideas generated here will positively influence our schools, the wider society, and ultimately the nation. By strengthening leadership in our schools, we contribute directly to the development of responsible, innovative, and competent citizens who will drive Kenya's social and economic transformation. As KESSHA, we remain committed to working closely with the Ministry of Education, Teachers Service Commission, partners in education, parents, and all stakeholders to ensure the successful realization of our shared educational goals. As we depart, I encourage all delegates to return to their stations energized, inspired, and ready to translate the lessons learned into meaningful action. Let us continue supporting one another and sharing best practices as we advance the noble cause of education. Finally, I wish all delegates safe travels and journey masses as you return to your respective countries and schools. May you reach your destination safely and carry with you the spirit of shared dream, innovation, and excellence that has characterized this conference. Thank you for your participation, your commitment, and your belief in the transformative power of education. Thank you very much. Before I invite the Chairman, Teacher Service Commission, I have some members of the NGC. These are the organizers of this conference. And they are the ones who elected me. So if I don't let them, I have to let the minister to know them, because if I don't introduce them, I'm not sure that I'll be coming back in the next elections. So I want the mic. I just have the 8 regional officials here kindly. The 8 of you, you are the ones who introduce by raising up their hands. Just idea, you come one by one. So we have 8 regional chairmen in every region, and each region has a number of counties. So I want the regional chair to introduce themselves, and also they tell the chairman maybe to step forward as they talk, so as they introduce them, and maybe the delegates that the county that region can raise their hand. I can see let us start with the chairman Northeastern. He's also our we say our bishop, but in Islam it's sheikh. He's also a sheikh. Karibu sana.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Our CS, our PS, all distinguished guests. I am Mohammed Dubat, Chairman, Northeastern Region, Principal Garissa High School. So with me, I have the other two chairpersons, who is Ismail. Ismail is the Chairman, Wajir County, and he is the Principal Elais Secondary School, Mixed Secondary School. Where is Hussein? Hussein, the Chairman Mandera, is not with me now. Now let me ask, he was chairing a session, in fact, just briefly. Let me ask our delegates from Northeastern Kenya, please. Stand up, please. Northeastern Kenya, please. I know it's time for prayers, I know. Yesterday it was the same. I don't know, this meeting comes at wrong times. You know, today is Friday. The ones who are there, please stand up. Wave to the crowd, please. Thank you very much.
Cost is here.
Thank you, Bwana Chairman, our CS, our PS, distinguished guests. Good afternoon. Kwa majina naitwa Ramadhani Ali Mwakanga, Chairman KESHA Coast Region, na niko na wenzangu hapa, Bwana Mwafungo Rogers, Chair Kwale County, Bwana Makeo Evans, Chair Tana River County, Bwana Nene, Chair Lamu County, Bwana Anderson Munga, Chair Kilifi County, and Bwana Severin Tole, Chair Taita Taveta. Asanteni sana.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Good afternoon, sir. My name is Hirbo Mude. I am the regional chairman in Nairobi region. Nairobi is unique, sir. We don't have county there. I'm the regional chairman and also the county chairman. I thank you very much, sir. The delegates from Nairobi, please be upstanding from wherever you are. Delegates from Nairobi, very good. Sir, you can see they're all over the place. Thank you.
No, Central.
Maybe.
And you come.
Thank you, Bwana CS. In Central region, we have 5 counties. And on that side, we have Mr. Geto of Murang'a County. Then we have Mr. Paul of Nyandarua County, Mr. Alex of Kiambu County, and I'm Joyce Waruru of Kirinyaga County. Our regional chair is Mr. Mike from Nyeri County. Thank you, Bwana Waziri.
Thank you very much. Eastern.
Thank you, Waziri, and all who are gathered here. My name is Joe Ben, the Principal St. Mark's ENA in Embu, the Chairman Eastern Region, and also Chairman Embu County. So with me are the county chairs from from Eastern. We have with us Mr. Ndivo Moya from Makueni. Then we have Madam Jacqueline Kusonza from Kitui. We have Bwana Karani Mboe, he is from Meru. We have Bwana Robert Njage, he is from Tharaka Nithi. We have Mr. Kavuvu Stephen from Machakos. We have another one, some 2 others. The chair Marsabit, and then the chair Isiolo. They are still around. Wameenda maombi, hawa ni watu wa maombi saa hizi. Delegates from Eastern, tafadhali tusimame. Delegates from Eastern, they are quite a number. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. God bless you. Asante sana, Bwana Waziri.
Okay, lift Fade. It's your time. Is everybody?
Yeah. Thank you so much, our chief guest, our CS, our PS, all protocol observed. I am Sigei Cornelius, Principal St. Benedict Abkimolo Pamet, and I am also the chairman, Rift Valley Region. I humbly want to request my colleagues, members of the Covenant Council, Rift Valley Region, just come around, Tafadhali. I would wish to humbly request them just to mention their name as to introduce themselves, kindly.
Dr. Ngetich Washingishu.
Bernard Masinde, Trans Nzoia.
Kipsang Ngeno, Kericho County.
Frederick Cheboyo, Baringo.
Maurice Choge, Nandi.
Michael Chiriot, Elgeyo Marakwet.
Lausoko, West Pokot.
James Lepersanti of Samburu County.
Thank you so much. Humbly delegates from Rift Valley, kindly stand. Rift Valley region delegates, simameni alafu tusalimiane wote. Tafadhali, let's wave to our guest. Karibu sana. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Western.
Our guest of honor is our CS, Mrs. Pamela Otieno, Chair Vihiga County, standing in for our regional chair, Mr. Michael Amkoa. Vihiga County has Western region has 4 counties. I'll want the chairman to introduce themselves.
Robert Nabiswa, Chair Bungoma County.
David Masse, Chair Busia County.
We also take pride in the post of the National Organizing Secretary, Mr. Albert Masiolo, who is the principal, Vihiga High School. Delegates from Western Region, kindly stand up. Delegates from Western Region, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Nyansa.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, CS. Allow me to ride on the existing protocol and say that I'm Dr. George Opeo, Principal, Dr. Logombe Mixed Secondary School, Chair, Nyansa Region. Nyansa has got 6 counties represented by Chair Siaya, Mr. Victor Makanda, Chair Homa Bay, Mr. Joseph Ayeko, Chair Nyamera, Job Oira, and Chair Migori, Dr. Peter Magawi. Chair Kisi is doing some other duties for KESHA. She was just around here the other time. Delegates from Nyansa, may I request you to stand up and wave to our CS. Thank you. You are still very many in the hall. Thank you so much. Thank you. We also have our national treasurer as a delegate from Nyansa. Thank you.
Thank you. Now I want the 8 national officials to step forward. 8 national officials. Come here. On this side. On this side. So these are the national officials. Soga kabisa. And these are my chief advisors. This is a kitchen cabinet. It's this one now. So I want them to introduce themselves from that far edge.
All protocols observed. Margaret Njaga, the Vice Organizing Secretary, but also from Nairobi, Moi Girls School, Nairobi.
Riding on the already established protocol, my name is Abdinur Haji. I'm the Secretary General, coming from Wajir, leading a school called Sabunle Boys. Thank you.
Our chief guest, I'm John Mille, the Vice Treasurer from Kitui County, a school by the name Kiambo Secondary School, Senior School. Thank you.
Our chief guest and all the distinguished guests, delegates, my name is Joyce Omondi. I'm the KESHA National Treasurer and Principal Bishop Okoth Girls in Siaya County.
Our chief guests, our PS, and all other invited guests. I'm Mana Hamisi Omar, Chief Principal Mamangina Girls, and Vice Secretary, KESHA National Office. Thank you.
Our chief guests and the other distinguished guests, delegates. My name is Masiolo Albert, a principal Vihiga High School, and the National Organizing Secretary.
Chief guest, all protocols observed. Cheriot Elias, National Vice Chair, Principal Dagoretti, Nairobi County.
Thank you very much. As they sit down, I must say, Waziri, I try to remember one of our own, Mwalimu Harrison Kombe, the MP from Bangalore when I was here. Kindly just stand and wave to the crowd. He's also a teacher. Now we have two teachers seated here together. They are one the principal secretary and the member of parliament from Bangalore. Even the member for Kibula is also a teacher. I think we are rich. Thank you very much. Take your seats. Thank you. Thank you. Clap for them as they take their seats. And now, without taking much time, I want to take this time to invite the Chairman Teacher Service Commission, Dr. Jamrik Muturi, who will then invite the peers as we commence the closing ceremony. Karibu sana, Chairman.
Tupigie chairman makofi yake tafadhali. Thank you, Chair, for the good work that you have done with your team. Our CS, Honorable Julius Migos Ogamba, who is the Cabinet Secretary for Education. Our PS, State Department of Early Learning and Basic Education, John Rotua. Our PS Gender, Anne Wangombe. Member of Parliament for Kipra, and the commissioners in the National Lands Commission, the CEO of KICD, all distinguished guests who are here, colleague teachers, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. You know, it's so exciting to learn that quite a number of senior government officials today, manning and leading this country, they have a TSC number. Let's clap for ourselves as teachers. In fact, all what I need to know from the principal, Morang High School, is how did the teacher exit? And you follow the CS, who is a lawyer, so that we can follow the legal procedures to find out whether the exit deserves a show cause letter. I know even the current PS pass through the class. So we have so many people that we are going to find out. And also my brother, the former principal of Upper Hill High School. And I would like to promise you, if you have not been paid your dues and you left honorably well, we will ensure that you get your deals on time. Sion Sawa. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm truly humbled to be here today during the closing ceremony of this year's annual general conference of senior school principals with the theme Strong Schools and Collaborative Leadership for Promoting Competence-Based Education. This theme is a clarion call to each one of us gathered here this afternoon to the demands of transforming education landscape and to anchor our schools as true centers of excellence. I commend the KESSHA, led by the chair, Mr. Kulia, with this entire team to enhancing education leadership, improving learning outcomes across the country. Pana CS, as our sector head, I can say without fear of contradiction, the way these great men and women, the principals, admitted grade 10, they have been able to work with them. They have exceeded expectations as far as assessment is concerned. Because the challenges have been there. But instead of them dwelling on lamentations, as the chair said, they have been able to strategically utilize the available resources to ensure that learning and teaching is taking place uninterrupted. I'm pleased also to note that despite the challenges facing your principals in the education sector, you as school leaders across the country, you have demonstrated resilience. I repeat, you have demonstrated resilience, professionalism, as well as dedication to duty, even when surrounded by challenges beyond your ability to solve. But allow me to say, as a commission and as an entity, we'll walk the journey with you of school leadership by retooling you, exposing you to the right pedagogies that we require, not only to man the schools, but also to be able to handle the students, the learners, as was rightly put by Professor when he was presenting here. The government of the President, William Samoei Ruto, has really done quite a lot for this country, and more so for the teachers of this country. And it reflects a growing recognition of the centrality of teachers to national development. The Commission has benefited with a very high budgeted allocation. The CS will agree with me. From the budget you have been given from your sector, I'm taking more than half. Actually, it's about 454 billion Kenyan shillings. Tupigie President Makovi na Parliament kiongozwa na mheshimiwa hapa na wengine. From this money, sir, more than 98% goes the salaries of our employees. However, part of it, 4.9 billion for this financial year 2026-27, it has been allocated for conversion of JES teachers or interns into permanent and pensionable terms. That will boost the morale of the teachers, that will improve their welfare, and it will also assist in retention of these teachers. 2 billion, sir, has been allocated to promotion of teachers. And I can tell the hands here and the teachers across the country, because I'm properly monitored and oversighted by a committee of education, by August we are going to advertise the promotion vacancies, and we are going to promote more than 30,000 teachers. From grade 4, D4, D5, D3 to D4, all the way to C2. That's not a mean achievement, and it is out of the government's desire to motivate our teachers that the promotions have been very forthcoming. In addition, sir, we signed a CBA with the unions, and it has several phases. We have been allocated 8.4 billion for increasing the teacher salary as from 1st of July this year. So that money has been allocated, and we will ensure that it is paid. It may sound as if there is not much being done, but that effort, to me, is exceeding expectations. Allow me to say, sir, on the promotions, for the last 3 years, the president has been in power. You realize that 274,000 teachers have been promoted. Out of that, 100,000 have been promoted on PNP, while 174,000 have been promoted on common conduct. Members who are here, some of them are here because last year they were promoted. In fact, this year they were promoted. And we will continue promoting our teachers. And I will request my brother here, Bwana Olero, with this committee. We need more money so that we can be able to mop up all those teachers who have stagnated in various job groups for long. In fact, sir, in our promotion, we are considering merit, performance, productivity, and stagnation. So that those teachers really who have stagnated for many years, then we give them a special consideration. When we signed our CBSR with the unions, we agreed that we are going to review our career progression guidance. The one we are operating with was done way back, 2016, when we are in the 844, the only curriculum then. Now with the new curriculum, CBE, you realize there are so many factors in play. Out of that, Bwana CS, we have been able to, under a lot of stakeholder engagement, we have engaged the unions, we have engaged KESSHA and KESSHA, and we have already finalized the review of our proposed CBG. And in this CBG, it is addressing the gaps that we have noted as we have been implementing the previous CBG. The current CBG, sir, is a game changer in the following ways. One, it will allow a classroom teacher to grow to the highest possible level of teaching profession without necessarily becoming an administrator. So it has a dual pathway. One pathway where a teacher can grow as English teacher or general teacher like PS Wangombe and grow to the highest possible level. Because we have teachers who are very gifted in their subject areas and various areas, but they may not be equally gifted to be school administrators. So they'll reach a certain level where those who want to become school administrators, they'll just take the path of administration. Just like the universities, we have a full professor in chemistry, and we have a full professor as a vice chancellor. All what the vice chancellor will do, will earn more money because of responsibility. The same way with our principals. Our principals will be earning more money of responsibility as school administrators. But then we have another teacher who is in chemistry, CRA, metalwork, and the like, who will climb the highest possible level. That one we have known that we will be opening chances for teachers to enjoy the path of career growth. Because with the current career progression guideline, it limits promotions. Because like now in high schools, we have about 10,000 teachers. That means that we have certain level number of people who can go to D5. But when it is properly opened, then it has a divergent approach and a convergent approach. That's one that the unions, we have taken them through. We signed on the 18th of this month. We have already submitted to SRC and other arms of government. Once we are given green light, we will be able to implement it immediately. And I think that's a good scoring for you, principals, and the like. Because with the current career progression guidance, sir, if a principal is unable to perform his duties, they know very well that you are told quietly, can you be wise? Now we are saying, instead of telling you quietly to be wise, you can still go back to class. The only what you lose is only the allowance of management. But you still remain performing your duties because you are good in what you are doing, which is very, very progressive. And I believe that is very good compared to what we have in the previous time. Sir, to us, we feel once it is finalized by SRC, we will be able to implement and will be progressing on well. Allow me, sir, to just make a few statements, 2 or 3, regarding the school unrest. Ladies and gentlemen, as we celebrate our achievement, we must also recognize the emerging challenges that our schools face. One significant concern is the growing complexity of managing learners in a rapidly changing social environment. Incidents of discipline, unrest, and school strikes pose serious threats to our learning institutions and compromise the safety of both is you, the principal. How? Research and institutional experience show that strikes rarely erupt without a warning. They are usually presented by simmering grievances, real or perceived, and they touch on the following issues. 1, around food quality, discipline, parental negligence, academic pressure, bullying, social media influence, teacher conduct, or feeling of exclusion and injustice. Those principals who are attuned to the pulse of the school, who walk to the dining or and sleeping areas, who is accessible to parents, to prefects and regular students, and also teachers, who resolves grievances swiftly and fairly, those principals will rarely experience bans and discipline. And if they are there, they are able to sort them on time. What are the possible solutions? In my view, as a former principal, a former deputy, a former teacher, the following. 1, let us we build robust grievance redress mechanism within our school, including functional suggestion boxes, open door policies, regular students forums, principal forums, what they call kamukonjis, for students to air their grievances without fear of victimization. 2, empower your student councils and prefect bodies as genuine instruments of student governance, not just merely ceremonial appendages of school administration. 3, collaborate closely with parents, the bones of management, the PAs, the local community to address systemic issues before they escalate. 4, ensure that the teachers under your supervision maintain professional standards in their interaction with the runners. 5, engage runners constructively through debates, sports, and other productive activities to enhance their physical, psychological, and emotional satisfaction. 6, enhance guidance and counseling, as well as spiritual and moral values inculcation to address issues of mental health, drug and substance abuse, learning in the institution, and reduce stress as much as possible, because we need to make the learning areas to be student-friendly. 5, report any emerging tension to your county directors and security enforcement agencies immediately, rather than waiting for a crisis to erupt. I urge the principal to follow the Ministry of Education circulars on safety and security of boarding schools to the letter. Principles of boarding schools, that document is very clear. It says that every principal and a deputy must reside within the school compound so that we can address emerging issues in case they arise. The commission, on its part, want to assure Mr. Chairman, we will continue to support disciplinary measures against runners who destroy property while ensuring that institutional environments are conducive for learning. We remind principals that the safety of learners, the staff, and property is a core part of your institutional leadership responsibility, and we will support you with the guidance, training, and any other necessary action, and we will make very elaborate decisions when they do come to if and only if you are being victimized for nothing. Disciplinary action, therefore, will also be taken to individuals who violate ministerial directives given to us by the ministry and other arms of government. Unless in school, sir, we will require all of community approach, as the PS said, all of community approach. It is not about the principals. It's not about the ministry. It's not about quality assurance officers. It is about the whole nation. Where all stakeholders, the parents, the teachers, religious leaders, community leaders, play their cardinal role. As the African proverb says, it takes a village to bring up a child. And therefore, we have a responsibility as a nation to ensure we come together instead of blame shifting and passing many other things. As I conclude, allow me to say that as a commission, we will support the principals present, Mr. Chairman, we will support all the teachers in this country, and I urge all of you, especially the principals, when you advertise for promotions, please make sure that our teachers apply. Sometimes, I don't know why, you find we advertise and some vacancies, they are not filled, we have to re-advertise again. That time, Mheshimiwa hapa amesunguka kila pahali akitafuta pesa. Waziri amesunguka hata kwa cabinet. So once we advertise, sir, please ensure that our teachers apply. As I conclude, I will say this. Allow me to repeat the ones from our president that go, 3 of them that says like this. 1, let us not make peace with the mediocrity. Let us not make peace with the mediocrity. Wherever we are, when you are working, let us not make peace with the mediocrity. 2, to succeed as a school administrator or as a leader, believe in yourself, believe in your country, and believe in God. The third one, education is a bridge between promise and prosperity, between poverty and prosperity, between exclusion and belonging. We must give our learners quality education without discrimination. No child should be left behind regardless of geographical location, denomination or religion, or the social upbringing. With those many remarks, let me take this opportunity, therefore, to thank all of you and appreciate the fact that our CS, who is our sector head, has really been supporting us, even as a commission, when we are implementing our services. Let's give our CS a lovely hand for actually leading this sector in a very good way. I've been requested, before I invite the CS, to invite the chair of KESSHA to read the conference resolutions, so that we can also be able to hear from our peers. Thank you so much. God bless you. God bless Kenya. God bless all of us.
The secretary, kindly. The resolutions of the conference, maybe in 3 minutes, kindly. This is a national secretary. Krab moja kwake. Yeah, he wants to read for us the resolutions.
Bismillah. Our Cabinet Secretary for Education, Mr. Julius Migos Ogamba. Principal Secretary, State Department for Basic Education, Mr. John Lekakeni Ololtua. Principal Secretary, State Department for Gender and Affirmative Action, Ms. Anne Wangombe. Chairperson of Teacher Service Commission, Dr. Jamlek Muturi. Honorable Peter Orero, representing Committee in Education, Parliament, other honorable members present, our regional, our directors from both the ministry and the TSC headquarters, regional directors, both ministry and Teacher Service Commission, our delegates, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon. Allow me, sir, with humility to take you through the resolutions of the 49th Annual National Conference Summary, date 26th June 2026. Following extensive deliberations, the conference adopted the following resolutions. 1, strengthening competence-based education. Principals will provide transformative instructional leadership, champion change management, and mobilize resources to ensure the successful implementation of competence-based education. B, schools will prioritize the development of 21st century competencies, including digital literacy, creativity, critical thinking, communication, collaboration, problem solving, and responsible citizenship. C, KESSHA will strengthen strategic partnership with educational institutions, development partners, and the private sector to support teacher capacity building, digital learning, innovation, and the provision of quality CPE resources. 2, mental health guidance and counseling. The conference resolved that the increasing cases of school unrest and fire incidents should be addressed primarily as indicators of mental health and psychosocial challenges rather than solely as disciplinary issues. Schools will strengthen guidance and counseling services by establishing comprehensive learner support systems, adopting trauma-informed approaches to discipline, creating safe reporting spaces, and promoting learner participation through structured student voice platforms. C, the conference called upon the Ministry of Education, the Teacher Service Commission, and the teacher training institutions to strengthen the capacity of guidance and counseling teachers through continuous professional development, specialized training in mental health, psychosocial support, trauma management, substance abuse prevention, conflict resolution, and adolescence counseling. KESSHA will advocate for the deployment of qualified counselors and psychologists in schools, improved counselor to learner ratios, and dedicated budgetary allocation for mental health, nutrition, and WASH programs. Principals committed to implementing immediate school-based interventions, including counseling audits, identification at risk learners, establishment of safe spaces across the profession. Education financing. The conference resolved to petition the government to urgently review the current student unit cost to reflect prevailing inflationary pressures and the actual cost of delivering quality education. B, co-curriculum activities should be funded as a separate budget line to reduce pressure on school operational funds. C, schools will continue adopting sustainable financial management practices while advocating for equitable education financing and reforms to enhance fairness in national assessments. 5, school safety and learner welfare. Schools will fully comply with the National Transport and Safety Authority, that is NTSA, regulations governing school transport, including vehicle inspection, licensing, load limits, and strict driver vetting under the Watoto Wafike Salama initiative. 2B, principals will address convention in boarding facilities and improve living life. 7, teachers' welfare and capacity building. Schools will continue collaborating with the Teacher Service Commission, teacher unions, and institutions such as Semastea to support teachers during the transition to competence-based education. B, teachers will be encouraged to participate in continuous professional development programs to enhance curriculum delivery, assessment practices, digital competencies, and learner-centered pedagogies. 8, financial and social welfare. Principals will encourage staff participation in appropriate financial wellness programs, including affordable savings, credit, mortgage facilities, and comprehensive medical and welfare schemes. B, schools will strengthen communication and collaboration with the parents and boards of management to improve governance, accountability, and learner outcomes. 9, strategic partnerships. The conference welcomed continued collaboration with government agencies, development partners, financial institutions, publishers, technology organizations, and other stakeholders to support competence-based education, teacher welfare, school safety, digital learning, and institutional development. Point 10, teacher professional standards, recruitment, and capacity development. Principals shall ensure full compliance with the legal notice number 50, which prescribes the diploma in education as the minimum entry qualification for the teaching profession. Schools will support teachers who currently have one teaching subject to enroll in the newly established subject matter enhancement pathway to enable them to acquire a second teaching subject and meet evolving curriculum requirements. The conference urged the Teacher Service Commission to continue ensuring equitable deployment and staffing of teachers across all schools in accordance with established staffing norms and guidelines, especially on the new learning areas to support effective implementation of competence-based education. Principals shall ensure that all teachers comply with the Teacher Professional Development, that is TPD, programs as prescribed by the Teacher Service Commission, recognizing continuous professional development as essential for maintaining teacher registration, enhancing instructional quality, and improving learner outcomes. Overall resolution. The conference reaffirmed its commitment to building strong, safe, inclusive, and well-governed schools through collaborative leadership effective implementation of competence-based education, strengthened guidance and counseling services, enhanced teacher and learner welfare, prudent resource management, ethical leadership, and sustained partnership with the government and other stakeholders in advancing quality education for all learners in Kenya. Mr. Chairman, I submit the resolutions of the 49th Annual Conference, and I want the chair to submit the following documents to the following important guests. Thank you. Before we give the document to the Cabinet Secretary, I am requesting for a proposer and a seconder. Mohammed Dubat, the Regional Chair, Northeastern, seconded by, that is, Mr. Bore. The chair from Nandi. Peter Stanley Gidu from Murang'a County. Chair, thank you. Chair, kindly.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Moja kwa secretary. Asante sana. Chair.
Thank you, Bwana CS. We'll take those resolutions once given to us. For us as a commission, once we are given, those that may require tweaking of our policies, we'll do that. Those that have financial implications, we'll consult the treasury and all those things so that we can address them. When I was there with the chair, Bwana CS, he asked about what have you done to the shortage of teachers. I would like to report that we have already reviewed the registration requirement for somebody who is a teacher. I know you have been emphasizing on 2 subjects for graduate and the like. It is already in Parliament, awaiting the last bit. But the content is simple, that we'll also be able to register those people who have done one subject. For example, you have done metalwork, you have done woodwork, you have done electricity. So long as you have gone to the Kenya School of Tiveta and you have acquired the postgraduate diploma in pedagogy, then we can be able to register you. So, and that will sort out the problem we have with the challenges we have in subjects like music, like and others in the various learning areas. So that's what we have done. Because we also know TENSA, like Montessori, it's being taught in all our schools, but then those teachers are not registered. Even Chinese actually is taught, and we don't have teachers. So we have done that. Actually, for Chinese, sir, we have a memorandum of understanding with the Confucius College in the University of Nairobi, and we have opportunity for our teachers to train for 1 year in Confucius in College, University of Nairobi, and 1 year in China. And those teachers who are going to apply, we will give them full pay. We will give them leave with pay, so that for the fee, for the 1 year they will be in Kenya, they will pay for themselves, but the 1 year they will be in China, the Chinese government will pay for them. So those are opportunities that our teachers would like you to grab and run with them. Thank you so much. It's now my humble pleasure to invite my brother, my senior, the PS, John, to address us. Tumkaribishe tafadhali na makofi ya KANU. 1, 2, 3, fungua.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, Daktari. I can see Daktari is a stall KANU. He's a stall KANU member. That's why he still remembers KANU. Now, our chief guest for the closing ceremony of the KESSHA National Conference, who is none other than our Cabinet Secretary for Education, Honorable Julius Migos Ogamba, my PS colleague for Gender and Affirmative Action, Madam Anne Wangombe, the chairperson of the Teacher Service Commission, my brother Dr. Jamlek Muturi, whom we worked with in Embu. You know, remember when I was regional director and you were the CC Education. I remember very well. Together with the Teacher Service Commission, all the officials who are present here today from the Teacher Service Commission, my brother and friend, Honorable Peter Orero, the Member of Parliament for Kibra, and also member of the Committee of Education, the National Assembly. Peter, you remember the work we did together? Yeah, when you were the principal and I was your regional director. And I'm happy that you are now supporting us in the education sector in whatever we forward to you. The chairman of KESSHA, the national chair, my brother Willie Kuria. I was also your RD in Central. I remember you were in Muranga Boys that time. I don't know whether that's where you are still. The entire executive. I saw Elias Cheruyot. Where are you? You used to be in the Rift Valley. And the others, I can see you there. Together with all the other members of KESSHA executive, the regional officials, county, up to the sub-county level. We are also indeed blessed to have the National Land Commission with us. In fact, we have the vice chair of the National Land Commission together with the commissioners, and the National Land Commission plays a critical role in safeguarding public land. And we are indeed very happy to have you today, and I'm sure you have done your presentation. The Ministry of Education, Teacher Service Commission officials, right from the headquarters, and probably I'll just request you to stand and wave. All the officials from the Ministry of Education, headquarters, regional, county, if you are there, just stand. Those who are still present. I know many of you may have left. Just wave in the interest of time. Thank you. Teacher Service Commission, do you have any officials who are still present? Yes, thank you. Just wave. Thank you very much. We also have our CEOs. I saw Professor Ngondo, KICD, and all the other CEOs, please, wherever you are, just wave. In the interest of time, we'll not be able to introduce you. All the principals gathered here today, and all protocols of staff. Good afternoon. God is good all the time. Now, I know we have done a lot, and so I will not actually talk. I will just introduce two very senior people here. Then I'll make one comment, then I'll invite the CS to be able to close. First of all, I have my PS colleague. I know you presented. You did your presentation. I don't know whether they saw your face very well. You can just come again and one comment. Or you can just wave there since you had already done the presentation. And we also have the MP Magarini, Mwalimu Harrison Kombe. Where are you? Thank you very much. But before I invite the CS, can I invite Mheshimiwa Peter Orero? Just come and, on behalf of all the members of Parliament, at least to say something before I make one or two remarks and invite the CS. Welcome.
Asante sana, my RD, the chief guest, the CS, the PSs who are here, my colleague, legislature, Harrison Kombe, all the directors, the TSE official, the chairman of the TSE here. We were colleagues together when he was the principal. And my colleague principal, habari zenu. Mimi sio mtu wa education saizi. Just wait for me pale muko hivi eh? Asanteni sana. Because of time, I know what you are feeling. In fact, I have to congratulate you for being here. During my time CS on Fridays, haungenipata hapa. Ningekuwa najivinjari huko kwa beach na watu wa Mombasa. But these heads have decided to stay here. It means they value education and they value your presence. I want to thank you for coming here. This has been there for very, very many years. It is very nostalgic when I come here. Also to greet my fellow colleagues. I had a long speech written from Parliament to come and present today, but I know that you are already tired, and even tired of seeing people in front of you. You are waiting for the chief guest to make his final remark. But allow me just to make a few comments. One or two, I've been told only 3 minutes. CS, unajua sasa I'm coming as a representative of the people of Kenya, but most importantly, the teachers of this nation. Every time we meet in our committee, you have realized that matters touching on teachers' welfare and well-being, I take very, very personal. We are all friends, but when I articulate the matters about teachers, it goes down into my heart. I will talk just about 3 people, and now that you are here, and my good friend the PS is here, before I say anything, I think this is one of the best PSs walimu mutapata. Simpatie makofi kidogo. Because he has been there at all levels. We will work with him very, very closely. And I also want to say all the budgetary recommendations, the BPS that was brought to our committee by the TSC, we approved the monies that they asked. And finally, the CS, they also made a progress and no money was removed. Over 784 billion Kenya shillings went to the Ministry of Education. I remember capitation for primary 7 million, for junior secondary 30 million, senior secondary 54 billion. They are billions, not millions. They were all approved, and we hope that you will do your part. Those 3 comments that I want to make. One is about capitation. As these heads sit here, as we always go back to our communities, the only thing that the heads talk about is capitation. Sindio? Ama mmepata yote? Mmesikia wanasema hapana. I know it is difficult. We have budgetary allocation for 22,000, but when we called the CS for treasury, he said it depends on the collection of the revenue, which we agree. But that collection of the revenue, when it has been gotten, please let us disburse the monies to these schools before they open the schools. To allow them to plan and plan well for our students. If that happens, the records for the teachers who are here, almost half of them have pressure. They take drugs for pressure, because they take care of our children. Is it fair that we allow these heads of institutions to get diseases that they didn't have because they take care of our students? Let us give them their dues if it is possible, but I know our CS is a good man. Now when he gets another good man in the form of a PS, they will deliver this to the teachers. Secondly, I will talk about the NEC. I know the chairman of heads have talked about it. Last financial year, we didn't allocate money for NEC, but this year, we have 9.9 billion for NEC. And also when during the budget, the CS said there is 1.5 billion to pay the teachers who marked last year. They have not been paid. Through your office, tafadhali isifike August kama walimu hawajalipwa. But I know you will respond to it. I think you have received the money. When you come here, please respond to these teachers. There is no way it can take 1 year. And they left their families And up to now, the remuneration has not reached them. Lastly, is about sports. Of course, you know I'm a sports person. Those who went for sports last year were never paid for nationals, regional, sub-county until late this year. Yet we have a pathway, our CBE, we have a pathway for sports. We must look at ways of getting money for sports to be ring-fenced in your office. Depending on this sports fund for teachers does not make sense. I used to be the chairman of sports in this country, and I feel pain when the teachers can go for national engagements, East Africa engagements. They use their money, they are broke. Some of them leave their funds for the hotels, and they are teachers. I'm making points and you are not even clapping. Nyinyi walimu. Kwani mnataka nifanye nini? Those are points. Ama sio points? Si basi mpige makofi hata mmoja tu. Surely. Anyway, because of time, how many are from Emuhaya here? Emuhaya. Nobody is from Emuhaya? Oh, I can see, when you are a principal, aim higher. Our watu wa Emuhaya, well, they used to hear wazungu saying aim higher. Then they said Emuhaya. Aim higher. You are not meant just to be a principal only. We are here, members of parliament, because we were teachers and we were principals. We want you to join us where we are. We are with my friend Harrison Kombe, and Harrison is also a member of Education Committee. I think mulikuwa mnamsahau because he's from here, this region. Harrison, tafadhali amuka tena. He's my colleague in parliament, na pia ni mwalimu. Lastly, I want to thank the teachers and the heads. Most of you supported me in prayer, in kind, in everything when I was campaigning to be a member of parliament for Kibra constituency. Some gave me 10,000, some gave me 20, some gave me 50. Please don't ask where they are getting the money. Some also gave me 500,000. They supported my campaigns. Na tafadhali msiwache tena. This time round, I'm still coming back. Lakini pia nimetengeneza yangu kidogo. Mutaniongeza tu kidogo ndio nirudi tena. Asanteni sana, Mungu abariki, mukae vizuri na tuonane baadaye. Thank you.
A round of applause for Mheshimiwa. Thank you very much. Waziri, mine is to make just 2 comments and invite you. First and foremost, let me also take this opportunity as your PS principals to indicate that I'm satisfied with the deliberations and the resolutions that you have come up with, which you are presenting to us and which we will be able to look at them very critically. Secondly, these conferences are very critical and we take it seriously when we deliberate on very important issues. Lastly, I spoke to you during my time, during the PS session, and therefore I don't want to repeat what I said. But I will just want to make one very general comment that all the issues that we discussed, touching on examinations, management, touching on school management, touching on sports and co-curricula, touching on discipline of students, touching on the general transformation of education system, including the competency-based curriculum, and all other that we have discussed. I would like to call upon each and every one of us to be very, very keen in the implementation part of it, because that's what is most critical. And finally, I also want to communicate that the PSC migration has communicated that they'll be doing registration of students for national identity cards from the month of July, and therefore requesting the principals and the schools to be very keen and collaborate during that registration period. All the other issues that you have mentioned in relation to the management of exams, my cabinet secretary in a short while will be able to communicate one or two things in relation to that. But Teacher Service Commission, led by the chair and the CEO and the team. Let me also commend you. You know, I just came from tourism. I was really, and my work was to bring as many tourists as possible until I was given the name tourist attraction. But when I came, I also realized what the Teacher Service Commission has been doing, particularly with your support, Honorable Minister, and the support of His Excellency the President, particularly in the reforms that you have carried out in teacher recruitment, teacher promotion, teacher capacity building, and we stand with you, and we will give whatever support that is required to be given. So that I don't continue talking, because once a teacher, always a teacher, and there is a temptation of continuing, I want to request all of us to be upstanding as you have, and then you just stretch before the minister comes. Just stretch, 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 and then we do a round of applause. Inyeshe kabisa. Just go on until the CS arrives. Continue until he arrives. Continue. Continue.
Please be seated. From the issue of the rain, it's obvious that PS John is not a Kanu man. And we know who the Kanu person is here. So my Principal Secretary, State Department for Basic Education, John Olutua, PS Gender, Madam Anne Wangombe, honorable members of parliament here present, led by Peter Orero and Harrison Kombe from Magarini. Now I know why Peter, you make so much noise when I come to parliament on this issue of teachers. It is obvious that they are your main support base. It normally puts me under so much pressure on issues that even him knows that members of parliament are supposed to do, including the fact that last year there was no allocation of money for NEC, for exams, until I had to come and pursue through supplementary to get the resources. But we've now been given those resources, and I'm going to tell you about them just now. The chair of TSC and all the TSC team that is here, the chair of KESHA, Willie Kuria, a very good man who has really supported us. And I want at this stage, even before I speak, to thank you and your whole team and all the principals because of what you are doing. You are a team that normally would raise a challenge and provide a solution, as opposed to just saying that we have this problem, but there is no solution for it. So I'm very happy with what you are doing, the suggestions that you are giving with respect to the challenges that we have, and which suggestions are going to make part and parcel of the decisions that we make as a government and the policies. So thank you very, very much for that good job that you do. The National Land Commissioners here present, and thank you for supporting us, and thank you for agreeing that you will support all our institutions to get their titles so that those people who encroach on our pieces of land cannot have the opportunity to do so once we have the titles. The principals here present, all of you, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Good afternoon again. Bwana asifiwe. Let me first start by confirming, just like the chair of TSC indicated, that the resolutions that you passed here are crucial for our sector, and they are quite inclusive. And we're going to have discussions about them. And let me say that we as a ministry are in support of those resolutions because they will improve our sector. So we are in support, we are behind them. And remember, last year when we were here, we had very, very many challenges, including the issue of capitation. I know we had two challenges with capitation. One was delayed capitation, and secondly, capitation that was given below the amount that is supposed to be given, which is 22,240. We have been able to resolve one of those. That is, we are now able to release the capitation in the last two terms, a few days before schools open. I don't know whether that is a statement of fact, and if you have not received, or if you did not receive your capitation 3 or so days before schools opened, let us get in touch with us and we find out what was the hitch, whether it is an issue relating to your bank accounts or things like that. But we have committed through His Excellency the President that going forward, we will be releasing capitation before schools open. The second problem of the amount, we are working on it. And I promised you last year that one of my aims is to ensure that we reach that figure of 22,240 yearly. And I'm happy that we are aligned with the members of parliament who do the actual allocation of these resources, that you will support us when we present the figures so that we ring-fence that amount so that we can be sure that our children are getting what they are entitled to. Harrison, you are new to the committee. I campaigned for you. Remember when we were in Magarini? TVET, you know? Yeah, tulikuwa nawe pale tuki. And thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to join you this afternoon for the closing of the 49th Annual National Conference of the Kenya Secondary Schools Heads Association. This conference remains an invaluable platform for professional engagement, reflection, and dialogue on the current and future education sector issues. I commend the leadership of KESSHA for organizing yet another impactful conference. We value your partnership and appreciate the critical role that principals continue to play in advancing our national education agenda. Ladies and gentlemen, the theme of this year's conference, Strong Schools and Collaborative Leadership for Promoting Competency-Based Education, is both timely and relevant. It speaks directly to the realities facing our schools today and to the leadership required to successfully navigate one of the most significant educational reforms that our country is undertaking currently. The implementation of the competency-based education has now entered a defining phase. Earlier this year, you oversaw a seamless transition of the first cohort of learners into senior school, marking a major milestone in our reform journey. This transition reflects a deliberate shift towards an education model that seeks to nurture the talents, the interests, the values, and competencies of every learner while preparing them for productive participation in our society and in the economy. The success of this new transformative educational model does not depend just on the policies and directives issued from the ministry. It will largely depend on what happens within your schools and classrooms. It will depend on the quality of leadership provided by principals, the commitment demonstrated by the teachers, and the extent to which schools create environments that allow learners to discover and develop their potential. Ladies and gentlemen, as school leaders, you occupy a strategic position in the transformation. You are not merely managers of institutions, you are leaders of learning. You are responsible for creating schools culture that inspire excellence, that inspire innovation, discipline, and inclusion. This is why we take very seriously the deliberations and outcomes of this conference. As a government, we acknowledge that the sector has challenges that require to be addressed. Whereas education continues to receive the highest percentage of this country's annual budget, there are still gaps that require intervention. For this coming financial year, the sector has received the highest allocation at 784.5 billion. And with this budget, we want to affirm our commitment to continue addressing some of the systematic challenges that have faced this sector. This sum has been raised from what we received last year, which was 702 billion to 784. So we intend to work very diligently to ensure that because of these resources, we will be able to resolve some of the long outstanding challenges that we face. These challenges, many of which are featured in this conference in one form or another, include infrastructure limitations, capitation that we've been talking about, and financial strain and teacher shortage, which the THC is working on, including the welfare and the promotion of all our teachers. Over the last 3 years, the government has demonstrated continuing commitment to resolving these challenges. Since 2023, for instance, we have employed a record of 100,000 teachers, and we are set to do another 20,000 teachers beginning, 24,000 teachers beginning this July to bridge the teacher deficit. We continue growing this number to ensure that our schools are optimally staffed. We've had long discussions with TSC that other than including the increment of teachers, we need to do harmonization and rationalization of our teachers, because some schools have more teachers while others do not have. So we are working towards ensuring that there is equity in the distribution of teachers in all our schools. During the same period, we have constructed over 23,000 classrooms to supporting the transition under the competency-based education. And for senior schools, we now have secured funding to construct 1,600 laboratories to support the STEM pathway. On capitation, we have ensured that schools now receive capitation before opening, so that there are resources to support seamless operations in good time in our schools. Progressively, we are endeavoring to achieve and sustain the approved rates of capitation as I've promised. In addition to providing material support, we are also effecting changes to the law and policy to ensure that the sector functions in an enabling legal and policy environment. Already, we've submitted bills to Parliament that seek to streamline the governance of basic education and to anchor the competency-based assessment and to improve teacher education management and anchor those in law and policy. These bills will also enhance coordination in the funding of basic education through scholarships and bursaries, as this complement capitation. These bills will be followed by regulations and guidelines to address other critical issues in the sector. We'll provide platforms for your perspectives, including such like platforms like this conference, to inform policies on contemporary issues. For example, the question that your chair raised on school uniforms. Ladies and gentlemen, there are expectations that fall upon you as teachers and heads of institutions in the implementation of the competency-based education. One area, and it's been mentioned here, that deserves particular attention from all school leaders is career guidance and learner transition support. The introduction of pathways and subject combinations at senior schools has fundamentally changed how learners make educational choices. Learners are now required to make decisions that will influence their future education, training, and career trajectories. This reality places a greater responsibility upon schools to provide a structured, accurate, and continuous career guidance. Learners require guidance to appreciate the opportunities available within the various pathways so that they can make informed decisions about their future. I therefore call upon all of you, as school leaders, to strengthen career guidance programs within your institutions by establishing robust career guidance structures, equipping teachers appropriately, and actively engaging parents in career guidance processes. Ladies and gentlemen, closely related to this is the need to strengthen guidance and counseling programs. Today's learners face challenges that are increasingly complex. Issues that have been mentioned here, including mental health, social media influence, peer pressure, family challenges, substance abuse, and personal identification continue to affect many of our young people. Schools must therefore provide safe spaces where learners can seek support and guidance. Guidance and counseling should not be viewed as a peripheral service. They should be central components of learner support systems. At the same time, disciplinary processes must remain firm, they must remain fair, and they must be transparent. Discipline remains a fundamental pillar of effective learning and orderly school management. As a government, we will support our teachers in effecting firm and fair disciplinary measures in schools in line with the law and the guidelines. Ladies and gentlemen, we must also pay close attention to learners' well-being. Let us not become too focused on academic achievements alone and forget the broader developmental needs of learners. Academic success and learner wellness are not competing priorities. They are, in fact, mutually reinforcing. As school leaders, you should ensure that learners have adequate opportunities to undertake sports, to undertake games, clubs, music, drama, and other co-curricular activities. These activities play an important role in developing teamwork, resilience, leadership, creativity, and self-confidence. They also provide healthy outlets for stress and contribute significantly to emotional and psychological well-being. In order to position our schools to effectively foster learner and staff well-being, we must build the necessary capacity through education and training that is appropriately tailored. In this regard, the Open University of Kenya has developed a self-paced course on school stability and learner welfare for teachers and principals. This course is designed to build institutional capacity for promoting safe, stable, and learner-centered school environment through early risk identification and building positive school cultures. Through the university's flexible and online delivery models, educators can attend the course without disrupting the school operations. As we discuss learner welfare, we must also reaffirm our commitment to inclusion. One of the core principles underpinning the competency-based education is the recognition that every learner has potential. This commitment requires us to pay particular attention to learners with disabilities and special educational needs. These learners must be given opportunities for meaningful participation in academic and co-curricular activities. For instance, I had a discussion with the COKICD that you can't send textbooks for learners with visual impairment the same way you are sending to normal schools. You need to send them appropriate material. So I went to a school, I found they have a whole heap of books that they don't need. Yeah, so we have discussed that, and we need to work towards ensuring that the specific needs are targeted and the right kind of equipment is applied to them. Is one of the discussions that we are having. This commitment, as I've said, requires us to pay particular attention to these learners with disabilities, and these learners must be given opportunities for meaningful participation in academic and co-curricular activities. We must work together, therefore, to strengthen inclusive practices within our institutions. Let us ensure that school environments are accessible to all learners, including those with special needs. The point, ladies and gentlemen, that I have to make is that strong schools do not emerge by accident. They are built through visionary leadership, sound governance, and a deliberate commitment to learner and staff welfare. The recent wave of unrest reminds us that strong schools are built on the quality of relationships that exist within the school community. Although the greater majority of schools were not affected, the incidents of unrest provide important lessons for all of us. Experience and investigations conducted over the years have shown that student unrest is rarely triggered by a single factor. There are several contributing factors, including breakdowns in communication between school management and learners, perceptions of unfair disciplinary processes, and school policies that may be perceived as punitive, unreasonable, or inconsistently applied. While no grievance can ever justify violence, destruction of property, or acts of arson, these experiences remind us that effective leadership requires more than enforcing rules. As a government, we are keen on finding a long-term solution to the challenges of unrest that we face. We want to ensure that our schools are safe spaces for learners and that public property is not destroyed and life is not lost. If we do not find long-term solutions to these challenges, the massive investments and the loss of life, including what the government and parents have invested, make the education sector a crisis area. In this regard, we are constituting a multi-stakeholder task team to undertake a comprehensive review of the challenges of unrest and to make recommendations for institutionalizing effective dialogue and peaceful coexistence in schools. This task team will have a broad mandate of evaluating the challenges of unrest and the causative factors. The task team will include all stakeholders in the education ecosystem and will have extensive terms of reference to address this problem comprehensively. We will have an opportunity, all of us, to contribute to that task team, and it will include very broad terms of reference: costs, uniforms, capitation, name it. We need to have everybody on board, not just the experts. We will have in that team even students and student leaders, so that we can resolve this problem in a manner that does not, lead to blame games, and then we do not solve the problem. And we are keen on ensuring that whatever comes out of it, because we're in the process of reforms, will be anchored even in law and policies. The implementation of the competency-based education and the broader transformation of our education system requires strong partnerships among the government, the principals, the teachers, the parents, the communities, development partners, and the private sector. I'm encouraged by the spirit of collaboration that has characterized this conference. I urge you to carry this spirit of collaboration back to your respective schools and institutions and to continue working together in pursuit of educational excellence. As you prepare to return to your schools and institutions, I call upon you to remain focused on transforming lives through education. The future of our nation is sitting in our classrooms today. The learner under your care will become the leaders of tomorrow. They'll be innovators, entrepreneurs, professionals, and public servants who will shape Kenya's future. The quality of leadership that we provide today will therefore influence the quality of the nation that we build tomorrow. On behalf of the Ministry of Education and the Government of Kenya, may I once again thank KESHA for its continued partnership in advancing quality education in our country. And with those remarks, it is now my pleasure to declare the 49th Annual National Conference of the Kenya Secondary Schools Heads Association officially closed. Asante sana, God bless you. Thank you very much. Asanteni, murudi nyumbani salama. Now I will receive the instructions.
Just hold on a bit because we are making a presentation to the Cabinet Secretary and also the Chairman Teacher Service Commission. Karibu Chairman. So we are now presenting to the TSC. Now we are presenting to the Cabinet Secretary.
Okay, let's be standing for the national anthem. Let us all stand up for the national anthem as Pamela Otieno prepares to offer the closing prayer. Pamela Otieno from Vihiga, kindly come forward.